Are you tired of politics and would rather play a game about the Reformation? Sola Fide is the game for you.
Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Sola Fide is a game that takes the Reformation and puts it into a tug of war for all intents and purposes through hand management. This game was originally called Campaign Manager 2008, which took the election of John McCain in the United States versus Barack Obama and put it on your board gaming table. It was a neat little game. I think that it worked pretty good, and I liked it pretty well, even though it had some balance issues. So they've taken the game and they've repackaged it into something that's the Reformation, and hopefully something to be more marketable than what they had before. I don't know if they accomplished this for a few reasons. One, I don't know if the topic is very interesting to a lot of people. To Christians, it's probably interesting, but outside that aspect, I don't know. It wasn't a huge hit, so I don't know. I think I like the political theme a little bit better. The color uses a lot of browns in this game. Lots of browns. The game isn't very interesting to look at. Now, I think they did make some improvements in the game. They probably streamlined some stuff and probably balanced it a little bit better. And I think some of the aspects, I've done a comparison video of this you can take a look at on this channel, but I think some of the improvements they made did improve the game, although maybe it's not enough to overcome the color palette and the thematic issues that I have with the game. Other than that, I mean, it's a really fun little tug-of-war game, how you're battling over these different areas and using a hand management to do so. So I think all of that works pretty good. Even if the theme doesn't interest you, I think this is a game that you might want to take a look at. It almost feels like a Twilight Struggle light a little bit here. If you're looking for something a little bit lighter on that, and there's quite a few of those games out now. At the time, I don't know that there were, but there are now. But the game works. It's really fun. I happen to like Campaign Manager 2008 better, and that's why I'm purging this one. Otherwise, I'd probably keep this one. Here's Sola Fide, the Reformation. It's an okay box. There's some praying hands on it. Definitely probably not the most striking box, but definitely is telling you what you're going to get into. You're going to get a rule book and an accompanying book, which I'll look over in a few minutes. You're going to get an advertisement card for No Siesta. And these are going to be the cardboard kind of boards that you'll be placing out on the board. Very nice cardboard, but they're kind of bland. I mean, I guess they tell you the area that you're in or whatever and the tracks on the side. But I don't think this is very, I don't know. It is what it is. You're going to get a 6-sided dice, generic, some regular generic cubes. They're nice. A little marker there. That's okay. You're going to get some cards that you'll have within the game. They're okay quality. I mean, nothing to write home about. I think this is about what you saw in other Stronghold games. The artwork looks like it might just be free art that you would get, clip art, or historical in the public domain, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The font on it's okay. The font is a little small. That might not be appealing to older eyes. And then these are going to have icons on them, so a little bit easier to see. That's pretty much components. Very simple game. Not a whole lot here. So here's a rule book. Same picture as the box art. You get a little introduction. Now the font's going to be a little small. You know, I got this zoomed in. You can't really see it. Picture of all the components with explanations. Setup over here. And then kind of how you're going to play it. Now, how you're actually going to play is only, 2 or 3 pages, depending on how you look at it. How to win. Very clear, plenty of pictures and examples, and that's what you're going to get, very, very clear. Then you're also going to get this accompanying booklet that will come with it, and this will explain all the cards. This is really cool. I really like having this. You can refer to all of them. It tells you all the history of everything that's important. There's a lot of love put into this theme. I don't think this is a very marketable theme, but there's no doubt that whoever put this together actually had some love for the theme and kind of the history of what's going on here. So this is how the game is going to be set up. You're going to have a pyramid, if you will. 1, 2, and 3 will be turned over with the power tokens placed on the board with the little cubey thing. You'll have these 4 stacks of cards which will shuffle up. One player will become the red. One player will become the black. So then what you'll do is there's 45 cards. You're only going to use 15. For the starter game, they recommend taking the ones with the oval. If you are past that and you want to draft, then you would take 3 cards after shuffling. Pick one to keep, eliminate the other 2, and then do it again as you go through your deck until you have a hand of 15 cards. Once that's set up, everybody has their 15 cards, either by taking the oval ones or by drafting them, then you're ready to go. A turn of the game is very easy. You may either play a card from your hand, or you may draw a card from the top of your deck. So the only way you're going to be able to get more cards in your hand, unless a card gives you more cards, is to take your entire turn and draw a card from the top of the deck. Now here's an example of some of the cards. Remove all tokens from territories on the nobility side. Convert one territory on the dominant side of a single imperial circle. Then draw a card. Discard a number of cards from your hand, converting a territory on the dominant side. Shift every imperial circle one space toward the commoner side. So you can just play them, and each of the cards will give you a different action. That's one possible thing that you can do with it. Now this could be simply putting out one of your tokens. It could be moving it towards your side, or it could be taking it completely off of the thing, or it could be putting on one of your own. So those are the kind of things that you'll be doing with converting the territories. And this is a tug of war that you're trying to move your cube back and forth on this track. Now, if the card were to shift power, it would be shifting power from the commoners to the king. There's a track here that you'll be shifting this back and forth on this track. So if you wanted to go towards the king for whatever reason, or if you wanted to go towards the commoners, you can shift that back and forth. And for gameplay purposes, you'll want to move this track also. Now, the distribution token is this little guy that you'll be moving around the board. And if it allows you to move it, just move it to a different location. So this one will be floating around. I'll put it face down so you can see it. But just know if it says move it, you would just move it to a different location. Some cards will have this infinite loop down at the bottom, and these are persistent effects. So when you play this card, you place it down in front of you, and it will stay into effect. In this case, Sacred Art, the Agony and Ecstasy. Place this card in front of you, discarding any persistent event played by you. Instead of playing or drawing, you may discard one card to draw 2 cards on your turn. So this is going to give you an ongoing power as the game progresses. Now, if you have these kind of cards, the Catholics will have, which will have the sword at the bottom, there's a military action. So discard 2 cards from your hand to convert 2 territories on a nobility side in a single imperial circle. So what you'll want to do as the Catholics is get these cubes on a nobility side, and if they're on the nobility side, which is the king, versus the commoner side, you can convert 2 of these territories to your side, thus scoring the points. So if you can get these over, and these will be tracks you're trying to get them up, so you can play a card like this. Now, after this is played, the Protestant will roll the dice on this military chart, the 6-sided die, and something might happen. Convert any one territory to a single imperial circle. Shift the power token to a single imperial circle. Draw a card, draw 2 cards, or no effect. So they will get to roll the dice and get one of these advantages or positions in the game. Now, if any time you were, say this is the dominant side because the cube is on the crown side, if you're able to dominate all of these sides, so now all the neutral and red are covered up with black, and you get 2 free black spaces here, at that point you would claim this tile, scoring the victory points, which is 7 for the end of the game. So this tile would immediately come up, and then you would flip over the next available tile. That's how that's going to work. So this side would want everything to end up black, where the opposite side would want everything to turn up red and have it on this side of the board. So that's kind of how the claiming is going to happen. Then you literally just take the tile as your victory point and flip over the next one. Players continue to play cards until all of the tiles are gone, and at the end of the game, you just count up the number of victory points that are printed on each one. You also get a victory point for any reward token that you're able to accomplish during the game, and whoever has the most victory points is your winner. Who should play this game? Anyone who has historical interest in the Reformation. This will definitely, some of the cards can be a little bit educational, which is nice. You like Twilight Struggle, but want something a little smaller. And then, tug of war aspect. And you really don't want to do U.S. politics, or maybe have no interest in it. This will play up for you. For everybody else, I'd say try this one before you buy. If you like that kind of hand management, then it'll work for you. Otherwise, it's going to be a Purge Reviews. I'm going to keep Campaign Manager 2008. That theme, it's a very similar game, and that theme just is more interesting to me of the U.S. politics. So there you go.